There's so many jalapenos on this burger. God, that would be gross.
I wonder if I'll beat the game tonight.
Judging by the stench, I'd say the animals at the ranch are all grown now. Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Well, yeah, something feels odd here. There's a freaking monster. Giant monster. Or Zoogle, I guess, would be the term. Wait. Hold on. This tells me... Ah, fiddle faddle. I didn't rest? Alright. Go back and rest. Because I'm a goofy goober. A goofy goober. Yoink.
Finally, some open space again.
I need to get that HP and CP back, baby. Ooh, I'm almost out of tofu.
This is a true masterpiece, no less than culinary art.
Uh-huh. Aw, nobody wants to
I'll see you
talk.
again tomorrow.
A bummer.
Well, off we go.
Indeed, off we go.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
What floor is that? 2? Two? Darn it, I have to go back to 1 and fall down. That is so annoying. Which means I just have to guess. Ah, shoot! Well, we know it's not that one. Oh, Is it this one? It is.
Yikes! Don't make eye contact with it.
Oh, we're making eye contact with it, baby. Alright. Yeah. Oh, cool. Level 43, we can take it. Famous last words.
Prepare to be deceived, those weak points. Actually, half round is more appropriate.
Let's talk some more doing.
Ow.
No further.
Feel God. Here's a healing art.
Eat dirt. You're mine.
Here's the
Try harder. My turn.
Yeah. I'm not stunned, you're stunned. Ow.
Hold nothing back. Can't move.
Oh, I died. Oh, I don't have my... Oh my gosh. If you die, you don't keep your over limit.
Say no more. In a vine.
Ow.
So now you're getting serious?
Not today. I'm not done. Take this. Thanks, Shion.
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll be better. Try harder.
Ooh.
I said almost. Don't get carried away. Here, let me help.
Ow.
Armor won't save you.
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished.
There you go, Alpha. Make it
It's time to end it. Commander of Heaven.
Wow.
Phoenix Cyclone.
2 in a row.
Switch to offense. Lightning Orb. Lightning Halo. Magic is on. All right. Where are you going?
No escape.
Ow.
Take this. Now you see what I can do. Not done yet. You're mine. Try harder. My turn. No escape.
Oh my gosh, I almost died again. Woo! Neat.
I need to be stronger.
And now we know why she needs to be stronger. Alright, let's go back to the journal. To Baephon. I can't fast travel from here. What kind of sham operation are you running around here? What the hell do you think you're doing? Oh. My bad.
Finally, some open.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So level 43, we took those out with
Peace again.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
minimal trouble.
Right.
Make any progress on your investigation yet? The issue has already been taken care of. Your people shouldn't hear any more of that loud roaring. Damn, you guys work fast. Not really. Thanks! Sadly, I still haven't had time to put those drinks together. Fret not. However, please indulge me in this one question. It's my understanding that Deadeye wasn't always so abrasive. Yet, you continue to stand by him. Why was that? That's a good question. There was definitely a part of me that wanted to rein him in as he was getting more and more extreme. But I think maybe part of me also thought that if I stuck around, maybe one day we'd be able to screw around again like we used to.
You don't say.
And so you remained by his side, hopeful that things would one day be like the good old days, so to speak. It wasn't anything that romantic. I simply couldn't cut my losses and move on. No, I understand that. I, for one, am of the mind that one shouldn't sever their ties with others, at least whenever possible. I take it you speak from experience, huh? Not that I'm surprised. This whole world's full of sob stories everywhere you look. Thanks for listening, though. I was getting lost in my own misery before you came along, but talking with you helped a bit. Well, thank you for answering me. I know that sometimes these things are easier to discuss with those distant from the matter in question. Haha, you really are carrying a lot inside you, aren't you? Come by again some other time. I'll make sure to have drinks so we can really talk. I'd quite like that. I look forward to that day.
Right.
Actually, before you go, I've got one last request. I want you to meet Deadeye's mom sometime. She lives in town. I'm sure if she saw the blazing sword and his pals, that'd cheer her up. Me, I can't stand to face her after letting Deadeye go out like that.
Agreed.
Very well. When the opportunity presents itself, we shall pay a visit. A lucky cat statue. What does that do?
You've collected an awful lot of those objects. You sure it's not just
Hush. Be quiet for a moment. The pieces speak to me.
Eh?
What?
These relics that have scattered about. I can hear them whispering, longing to reunite with their lost friends and become one again.
Really? Do you hear any voices coming from them, Rinwell?
What? No! Don't get me wrong. I'm really interested in these things too, but I'm not crazy.
Don't you sometimes mutter stuff like, "Come to me, astral energy," when you cast your arts?
She does.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Are Dohalim and I actually alike?
Yes.
Its charm really shines through now that it's been reassembled. Its streamlined shape, its geometric patterns. This is no mere amateur's work. He's in his own little world at this point.
You get just like him when it comes to weapons, you know.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Am I just like Dohalim?
Yes.
Huh? Why are you guys so quiet all of a sudden?
I sense a strange power from this.
That's funny.
Matt,
Yes, sir.
how do you feel about the Boston Red Sox?
I hate them less than the Yankees. Why?
I'm cleaning up my room at my parents' house, and I found some baseball, like, photos or whatever, some players.
Uh-huh.
Well, first off here, let me name the players, and let's see if you know any of them. I know one of them, so you're going to know one. I got Jonathan Papelbon.
Yeah, Jonathan Papelbon. He had gotten into a fist fight with Jason Veritek, I want to say.
I got Tim Wakefield.
Knuckleballer. I love Tim Wakefield.
I got Jason Veritek.
Yep, captain of the Wild Boys Red Sox bunch that won their first World Series.
And Lenny DiNardo.
Lenny DiNardo.
He was a pitcher.
Nope, don't know him. I thought he was a utility man.
And the last one is Big Papi David Ortiz.
Nope, never heard of him.
I have no idea who that is. But, yeah, so my mom got these pictures and stuff like that for a giveaway at some point. For something, I don't remember, but didn't end up getting this one given away or whatever. But I have real, authentic dirt from Fenway Park.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah.
Well, I'm jealous, because I would like to get real authentic dirt from Wrigley.
I just thought that was pretty cool. I was like, hey, baseball stuff.
Yeah, it is really rad. I don't know where Josh is. He's been on mute forever.
That's okay. I also got a couple like jazz stuff thing where I got a picture of Andrei Kirilenko and Paul Millsap back when they were on the team.
That's pretty neat. Good old AK-47.
I wonder if this free breakfast sandwich from McDonald's is still valid from my ticket from 2013.
You should go to a McDonald's and put up a big stink.
May not be valid for custom orders past 2011.
Aw.
What? 2011? This is 2012-2013 NBA season. You're not even giving me a free sandwich.
Wow.
That's funny.
No, I don't think I can do that quest right now. Alright, well, it looks like we're going to the moon. Well, not really to the moon, but...
You finally made. It.
That's it.
Well, it's the
Yeah,
moment
it's
of truth.
funny. I was like, I'm gonna call Matt and ask him these
This
questions.
lady better hold
And I saw you
together
in the
once
chat,
we're
and I
out
was
to
like,
the
I'll
air.
just pop into the
What?
chat then.
So
That
that
seems,
you're going to
seems
kiss
easier.
us.
Yeah, that is really cool, though.
Speaking of which, Alphin, this
Yeah.
bucket of bolts got a name?
That's the thing is like I'm not a huge baseball fan, so it's like kind of whatever for me.
You know,
Like
I'm
I
not sure
understand
she
the
ever had
importance
one.
of it because I think that is
Never
cool
really
to just
thought
have
about it.
dirt from.
Well,
know,
after
like,
all the trouble we went
when I
through
got
to
the
find her,
freaking
we should
chairs
give her one,
from
right? I was thinking something
Freaking
like,
Jazz Arena, I was like, holy shit! Like I was.
Well, from the
Well,
Delta
right.
Center or the Salt Palace?
Literally,
It was from. It's right before like they started
Oh, okay.
upgrading the arena
Sounds
here,
perfect
so
for a
it wasn't the
little
Delta
escapade.
Center. You know, it was like
not sure I'm
Energy
completely
Solutions Arena.
convinced,
That's what it
but,
was.
well, it's
Oh,
a
okay,
good
cool,
thing.
gotcha.
From
Yeah, it
now
wasn't
on,
that
she'll
long
notice
ago,
the
but you know
phones.
they were changing all that stuff and updating it to
Okay,
cushioned
people, we
seats
have
for
two
everyone.
goals.
And they're like,
First,
we're
we need
getting
to
rid
get
of
to
our
Lenin's
crappy
and
little
make the
like
Renans
plastic
finally
seats
leave
that
down
everyone's
below.
been sitting on since
And
the
then,
70s.
figure
And I
out
was
the
like,
truth
thank
beyond
God.
she unfolds and find a way to save her. Sound good?
But they like offered people to buy them or whatever, and I was like, well,
All right.
I'm gonna buy a
Let's
bunch
go.
because I love the Jazz.
And eventually they'll be worth something.
I would never sell those, dude. So many memories just sitting on these shitty chairs, screaming my head off at people that'll never know I exist.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence crammed inside a tiny
My
phone.
next undertaking is I have to get into this
I
little
guess you're right.
container I have
It
that's
does look
filled
more
with a
like
bunch
a
of
painting than a
basketball and
living, breathing
baseball and
world.
football cards,
From up here,
and I
all
want
the
to see if any of them are
struggle
worth any money.
so
And then I also want to see if I can find the Mark Jackson
Nothing
one
like realizing
that has
how
the serial
small you
killers
are
in the
to put
background.
everything into perspective.
What?
Kinda makes
Um,
the differences between the Renans
I
and
can't
the
remember their
Danans
names, but
feel
there's like
pretty
two
small
brothers,
too,
and I
huh?
think maybe they were twins. But sometime in like the 90s or something, they went to a Knicks game when Mark Jackson was on the Knicks or something. And they're like they took a like someone took a photograph of Mark Jackson passing a ball, and in the background you can see the two brothers. And like apparently that night before they went to the game, they had killed people.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm basically just here to supervise.
Like, oh my god.
Right. You could probably look it up. Just do like Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson serial
killers or
killers.
Yeah,
Everything okay,
But-
Shion? You
I know that card's worth a decent amount just because of that story.
Something wrong?
Yeah,
No.
especially now that
I've
true
been
crime has
thinking
become a
about it
thing.
in 7 years. That's all.
So the collector base is much larger now.
I guess even someone like you can
I
get
want to
close
know
to
who they
Val.
were because I'm drawing a blank
I
on
am
their
as
name,
prone
but
to
yeah.
sentimentality as any other. Tell me, Val. You too have a history with Lennigus. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you? Well...
Oh, eBay
Oh, the
pulled them.
Menendez brothers.
Yeah, the Menendez brothers. eBay pulled the cards.
Yeah, Lyle and Eric Menendez killed their parents in their Beverly Hills mansion on August 20th, 1989, but weren't arrested until March 1990.
I see. Don't worry.
Oh my God, they are! They're right there,
I was wrong.
right behind his freaking right leg.
Matters to address.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Around the ship.
that's nutty. That's crazy. Yeah, if you have that card, I'm sure somebody somewhere is gonna buy it.
will be going to Lennigus soon.
This must feel like a homecoming. of
I know I have
sorts
a
to you.
bunch of cards like that.
What was
in that,
life
like,
on Lennigus
style of
like
it,
back
too.
then? You know,
I'm hoping
before
I
you
have
came
that
to
one.
Dana.
Let's just say I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me.
Josh, if you're there, you've been muted this whole time. But if you're not there, you whatever.
Day in and day out,
You
every
stay
single
muted.
day, one test after another. I'm still surprised
I don't
they
think
didn't
he's
try to
here. He's
dissect
still
me.
muted.
The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How
Like,
could I
was he
forget
just
it?
sitting in here in voice
Kneeling
chat
from the
muted the whole
pain.
time?
Like I was
No,
a
he
monster
talked to me
inside.
for a little bit, but then he just went on
Some
mute.
existence, huh?
Oh.
A blight
Well,
on
maybe
whom I
he
touched.
doesn't want to talk to me.
Helplessly complicit in their
Nah,
pain.
he's been on mute long
I thought
before you
things
got in
couldn't
here.
get any worse.
Hey, Josh,
But
if you
then
don't
they
want
did.
to talk to me, stay
I
muted.
started to have nightmares, visions of the coming
Wow, you're an
apocalypse.
asshole.
Josh, I think you owe Alex an apology.
Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery
Need
disposition?
Chase to pop in here.
Unable to so much
Just
as
say that and
touch
then leave.
myself. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean
Yeah, that'd be
something.
really sweet to have.
If I have to sacrifice myself
I know it's
to
like
save
dark
the world,
undertones or whatever, but
so
man,
be
that
it.
card would be cool to have.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't mean to make you relive
Just to
that.
have a nice story forever. Like, yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm in a
Back in
much
my
better
day,
place
when
now.
serial killers
say
killed
it's your
people, they went to
destiny to die
basketball
so that
games
others
instead
can
of
live.
cleaning up after the
The other
evidence.
way
They
around.
went to go watch
Why
Mark
should we
Jackson.
be the ones dying to save you?
Ew, that's their first mistake. Mark
Are you
Jackson
crazy?
sucked.
Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that
Really.
even
He was
right?
okay player. He's just an asshole when he
It's
tried to
that
get stocked in
logic
off
that's
the
used to
team.
justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed.
That was never gonna happen.
This
I don't know
was
why he
never
thought he could do
seen
that.
only ourselves. That
That's
doesn't
like
mean
some
we have to give
serious
up our own
ego
lives
shit.
to
Like,
save
oh, the
everyone
guy that
else's
you
life.
literally drafted
If we're doing this to protect people,
and has been on the
if
team
we're
for like
doing this to
12
save
years.
the world from destruction,
I don't want that guy around anymore.
Then
And
that has
also,
to
oh
include
yeah, he's
saving
like
each
the
other
leader
as
in
well.
steals and assists.
A
He
world
sucks.
free of sacrifice. That's what you've
Surefire
been
Hall of
fighting for
Famer?
all
Yeah,
along.
whatever. I'm me.
not just
I'm
me.
Mark
We're in this
Jackson.
together, remember?
I'm gonna be on TV.
It's yours too, Shion.
Mama, there goes that man.
Every
Yeah,
last
right.
way. There can be no room for losers
By
in this
far one of
fight.
the worst
Now I
catchphrases
see
I've
it.
ever heard.
The
That's a
true
bad
nature of our
man.
struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do
Yeah,
you
there was
think we
like
can
one
pull it
time I
off?
was watching the game. I think they were talking
You
about like
bet
Kyrie
we can pull
Irving
it
or
off.
something.
We have
And I
to.
think it was Mark
It's the
Jackson
only hope we
and
have if
Doris.
there's ever changing.
I remember Doris talking
Yeah,
about like Kyrie's
you're right.
handles and
No
how
one's
well he
ever changed
passes
the
or something like
future
that. And then Mark
without
Jackson
aiming
was
for
like,
the stars.
yeah, he's pretty good at
We
passing.
can do this.
And that's all he said. And I was
Together.
like, yeah, we kind of got that from everything Doris was talking about.
Now that is seven-figure analysis right there.
Like, thanks, Mark.
I earned my contract tonight. I can go home.
Hey, shut up!
What's got law all fuzzy?
Only that he's
I
afraid
liked
of
Mark Jackson when he
flying,
was like,
the big baby.
he started coming
All
back
that
around when he was
fussing
like
about naming the
coaching
ship,
the
too.
Warriors for a little bit, because it was
I
like,
never said I
wow,
was
you could
scared.
tell like the players
I just
totally
think
bought
it's,
into
you know,
his
a
system and
little
everything.
unsettling how we're going to be
And it
cruising
was like
through
it was
space
cool
in a
little like
glorified
underdog
tin
story
can.
rooting
That's
for him
all.
against like the
It's
Grizzlies
a
or whoever it
starship,
was on their
dummy.
first year in the
That's what it's
playoffs.
supposed to do.
And
I
then
don't think there's
he
anything strange
completely
about
like
it.
shit the bed in the
maybe you're the
playoff
one with the
series, and I was like,
problem
wow,
then.
he's actually trash. Never mind.
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but I think we can
You had
trust
Steph
Renin
Curry, and you went up
technology.
a couple games, and all of a sudden
It
you don't
got me to
know how to play
Dan in One
basketball.
Piece, remember?
Like this.
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
Josh is probably just laughing his head off while I'm ranting about Mark Jackson.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. How stupid is Alex?
Hey Josh, stay muted if you think I'm stupid. Wow, I kind of hate you right now.
Josh, that's really rude. You
okay?
do really owe Alex an apology.
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all.
Oh yeah,
These
Back 4 Blood's
starships are
out.
a remarkably smooth
Yeah, I thought it was
ride,
coming out
all things
Thursday.
considered. Nothing like being
Yeah, I'm working on
safe,
getting
thank
better
goodness.
internet. I don't know when it'll
Glad to hear
happen,
it.
but sometime soon.
Device there
And then
caught
I
your
will
eye, huh?
be playing that
I was
most
just
likely.
wondering what
Okay,
it
cool.
is. It looks
I
like
do want to
the
play
person
with
inside
you,
of it.
that's for sure.
It's a
I
healing
saw a
It
review
fixes
that was,
injuries and
I
illnesses.
think it got
Oh,
like
you
an
don't
80
say.
something. I think it was like
That should
Metacritic, I don't
definitely
remember,
come in
but
handy if any of us get
it got like an
injured while
80
we're down
something, and they
there.
were talking about how it's, even though the review was kind of like meh, it was
it
talking about
something I
like
said?
they actually
No,
did
I
good like upgrade,
I was just thinking back to when
like,
I escaped Lennigus.
better
That's all.
advancements in like that genre of the game
Ceremony and losing
compared to like
control.
Left 4 Dead and
It
stuff.
was a total
And
mess.
apparently the campaigns are pretty
Maori
solid
laid me
too.
inside
So
here.
Oh, sweet.
So, you're saying
excited
you got in
for
this
it.
thing straight after escaping? Would that mean
playing the
You were
beta, I was
inside for
excited in the
300
beta,
years?
and then
Yes.
maybe I got like a
That
little
sounds
burnt out
crazy,
on it
you
just
know?
because it was only the one level and it was
So
pretty
you
long.
asked
But I
me
was like,
why I
meh.
stayed asleep all
After a
that
while, I
time.
was like, Jesus, I
that's
can't keep going through the
definitely
same
quite
thing.
some lying, all right.
Yeah.
But,
But still,
but there was
whether you
like,
meant to or not,
I was listening to
sure
a few
am
friends
glad
play
that it's
last night
this
because they got
century
on
that you
literally at
finally
midnight,
woke up in.
Uh-huh.
and they
What do you
played through
mean?
that campaign
With
from the
amount of
beta,
fighting we've done,
and apparently
ever made
it's
it this
better
far
when
without
it's not in
you.
the beta because
and not only that, but
they kept going like,
Alphen,
it wasn't like this in the
Can you
beta.
recall
I don't
back to
remember
what
there
it
being
is
so
that I
many
said
like
to you
so much more special
when we left
infected,
Menazea
and like they were
about the
you know
dream
seemed like
of
they were struggling and all that stuff, and
and
they were on
needing to
like
learn
you know
what it
normal
entailed?
difficulty or whatever, and I was like, thank God. I was
Of
like,
course.
I want to
That's why you
struggle
came
on
with us,
every
right?
difficulty.
To
Like I
learn
really
and
do.
home.
That's the thing that'll keep me going.
even
Yeah, I
at
was
that
watching a
time,
couple streamers
I
play
was
it
well
today,
aware
and
that
like
what I was living was a
the
lie.
the locked
But at the
doors,
same
like you have to
time,
use the
I
toolkit
also
for,
thought
have
Lily
changed, and
compelled
like
to fulfill my
even from
brother's
time to
wishes.
time running it,
I'll
it
always
changes.
remember him fondly.
Nice.
But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't
Yeah,
for
because
him.
sometimes like the
It's for
locked
people
doors, it
now.
was like it's literally in
Those
this
still to
spot
come.
or it's in this spot over here, and that's
world's
all
bigger
that
than just
all it
Venecia.
is.
My dream is for all
I want to get to it
Danos,
like.
wherever they
And
might
the
be,
thing was, is
to
once
be
you got to
free.
that area, there was
If
like
I've
pretty
learned
much a
anything on
guarantee
this
that
journey,
the
it's
locked
that.
door was gonna be there. And it's
And
like
the
I want
one
to play some runs where
that
it's like,
brought me along
all right,
was
cool,
you,
we're a
Alphen.
little bit low, but you know, someone
I'll
gets a
forever
toolkit and
be
the doors
grateful to
doors
you.
right out here,
Well,
and then it's
we're
not there, and you're like, oh,
just yet.
oh no.
Yeah, that's what it was like for the streamers, and they're like, I'm low on ammo, man. Me too. Don't worry, there's a door here. There's no door here.
But whatever we can do to
Oh,
get
crap.
down there,
Yeah,
I'm
that's how I
thrilled
want it
looking
to
the
be.
other
I
way.
want there to be actual difficulty. I want it to be
probably getting a little
frustrating to
ahead of
play
myself, huh?
because
Let's take things one
that's
step at a
how it
time.
keeps me entertained. Where it's like if I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, and trust me, I didn't even get through the freaking doors half the time on the hardest difficulty in the beta. You know, so I know that's going to be difficult, and I know that's what's going to keep me around because I'm going to want to beat all the levels on the hardest difficulty. Because that was
Yeah.
one of the funnest times I had in Left 4 Dead was beating all the missions on expert,
be making preparations to land.
and you had to do all those
Before we do,
finales like
Just what
perfectly
exactly should we
in order to
expect
beat it
when
on
we get down
expert.
there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lennigus.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lennigus was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training.
Are you streaming?
There are admittedly other
Yeah, I'm on
factors at play.
YouTube.
But yes,
YouTube?
that's basically the gist. As a result,
That'd be a
lines that
pretty
churn
good
out
game for
lords
first
and their
content, Back
contenders
to
wield
Blood.
disproportionate
Oh
influence,
yeah, for sure.
and those
But
lineages are treated as nobility.
I want to finish up Tales of Arise first.
Well, you better hurry up. How much longer do you think you have to play it? Like, do you feel like you're getting closer to the end, or what?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I'm going to like to the last area, and I think that's like a total of maybe 4 hours.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high.
So that's
up the
like 2
pecking order,
streams.
right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
You'll have to. Oh, I don't know how far back you can go, but I was gonna say you might be able to bring some content from what you've already streamed in Twitch and bring it over to the YouTube stuff. Or you're just
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna
you're right.
sucking it up and playing through Tales again.
Sorry.
Honestly, if I do make videos for Tales, I won't mind it. This game is so good.
Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on
In
something
my
arbitrary
server,
like arts is discrimination at
there's a
its
guy
worst.
that does
As if
YouTube
such simplistic
videos,
criteria
content, and
could ever
stuff.
be a measure of someone's worth.
So if you have
So
any
this
questions or
red
whatever,
woman,
you could
are
ask
we
him.
expecting to find her on
Oh,
the
Actually,
cool.
there's a couple.
I would wager some.
Yevon Jelly
Lennigus is
and
too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility.
Soft Sharp.
Chances are she's also connected to the
Those guys are
Renaissance
both,
being
like,
stolen from us in
Oh,
Peru.
Soft does YouTube? That's funny.
Yeah.
Exploit Dana? We need to
I
take
don't know how many viewers and stuff either of them have.
Redwoman's got a lot to answer
I know that
for.
Yevon's.
Just as
I
well
know
I've got
Yevi's
some
got like.
questions.
He's really good at like audio stuff. So if there's any issues you
We're
have
about
with
to
like
land.
audio equipment or
The
whatever, I'm
descent
sure
could
he
be a
can,
little
or
bumpy,
microphone
so
stuff,
brace
I'm sure he can help
yourselves.
you with that.
Oh,
There are
cool.
clues about your thorns out there
Yeah, I've
somewhere.
known Soft Sharp since Destiny 1.
Well, he does some YouTube stuff because he's posted some content on it.
Classic Josh. He gets in a call and then he just goes away.
Surprised I haven't got a message from him yet saying, "Hey, can you
I wasn't
disconnect me
expecting
from the
to welcome
server?"
that, but still.
Lenigus's
Wait, he does
infrastructure
that?
is largely automated.
Besides,
Besides,
Oh my
people will
God.
be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is
I'm
still
sure he doesn't
underway.
want Chase to pop in and bring in like a music bot and just have him listening
Do
to
you think
Baby
anyone
Shark
realizes
for
that we're
24
here?
hours or something.
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our
Or
presence went
Crab Rave.
unnoticed. Don't let your guard
Yeah.
down.
I had one of my
I hope
friends
we
do
don't
that
have
to
to
me when
fight
I was
anybody while
AFK,
we're
and I
here.
was listening to what is it?
So now what?
Ocean Man.
We've come
That's what it
all this
was.
way
Oh,
to
God.
hunt this Redwoman's here, right?
I came back and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lennigus would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis
All right,
Alma being
I'm on my
used in
phone,
the
so I'm gonna
spirit
bail out for a
channeling
bit. I might
ceremony
pop back
3
in
centuries ago.
on my computer, but I gotta finish
Whatever
up
the
a few things in
ceremony's
here.
purpose,
Alright, cool, man.
preparations are underway for it
Alright,
to be
talk to you in a
held
little
once
bit.
more.
Alright, talk to you later.
But
Bye.
Then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman.
So that was my friend,
Finding something of that
Mao
worth in the
Zedong.
residential quarters would only court trouble.
Good
In which
guy.
case,
Really good guy, actually.
It stands to reason.
indeed.
Oops! I just wanted to
But
make
it's
sure I
been
was
over
back on the right
300
screen and I
years
skipped the
since I was
line.
made a
My bad.
sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
We're gonna have to
There's
fight
only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Voltaire? No, that's not his name.
She
That's a
owns
French poet.
Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorn
Oh,
while
what's
we're
his
at it.
name?
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so
Dang.
let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall line.
Yeah, it's the
Thinking
first time
about
one of these has
what's
popped up in a
lurking out
while.
Here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zoogles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
Huh.
There's Zoogles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
After all, you never could. Okay, so let's save, because that was a lot of exposition we just went through. Why is it on fire? What happened? Cool music, though.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegus changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Great!
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to...
Lovely!
ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Doe?
Interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we could ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two.
Well, wait, wouldn't
Danans among us should probably keep
Alphen
our
be
heads
considered a light eyes
Why do
too?
people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Yes. We've been
What
over
could be
this
so important
many, many
worth
times.
destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process.
Power.
It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they
My
can't
guess
be
is that
using
Rena's
all that
dying.
energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So that's my guess, is that Rena's dying and they're siphoning off the energy to save that planet.
Do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Is Lenegis done for? The residential quarter is falling apart. Maybe. With everything all topsy-turvy in the residential quarter, there are lots of injuries. Stuff keeps dropping on people, and they're also falling down. Ah, poor kids.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands.
Oh.
Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First, Lanagus mutates beyond recognition. Now, this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed.
You fool.
The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Well, I want the treasure. Ooh, strawberries. Can anyone hear me? Please, someone answer me. What's going on? Why can't I reach anyone? Interesting. Huh? Where am I? I just went out for a walk, but now I don't know where I am. I don't know. Everything's falling apart and looks completely different. I can't get a hold of Mother and Father either. You have nothing to fear, kids. I'm sure there's a reason for everything that's going on. But even the Zeugles are running out loose. That seems dangerous. Zeugles are nothing more than our servants. They may have gotten out, but I assure you I'll have them back under control before long. If you kids consider yourselves to be proud Renans, then be brave. We'll have the situation fixed before you know it. Where's that dang Sovereign when you need him? Can't he see the city's in trouble? Let's not jump to conclusions now. I'm sure there's a reason he hasn't appeared yet. Let's simply give it time. Okay. Heals ore. In all my years, never have I seen such potent healing arts. Thank you so much for taking the time to help an old woman like me. Ooh, fancy parfait recipe. A lavish parfait filled to the brim with fruit and cream. Though extremely satisfying to eat, eating one risks developing more than a few cavities.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Ain't that the truth?
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you.
Thank you, generic person.
I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
She's a terrorist!
Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time.
That's a matter of national security! The Zeugles suddenly stopped listening to our commands. As soon as we turned our backs, they bolted for the horizon. Nothing like this has ever happened before. We have to put the crown contest on hold. We can't carry it on while things are like this. Items? Items? Items?
Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though.
Did that register? Did my eye roll register?
I linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how?
Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
Ah, what a good guy.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth. That Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city,
It's a spaceship. It's a weapon.
Really okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said Hugo would stop listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
Ay, ay, ay.
Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
So he has no
Without
idea
the
either.
lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Tohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
Because the planet's
But what
dying.
about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma, the same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
You've already said
That's
this.
decided.
You
That's
said
the
that
way
back
we
before you even
One of the
disembarked our
citizens mentioned
ship.
a passage that you thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it. I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It's just because it's the way it
is
is.
the way things have always been.
Ding
No
ding!
one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
No.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alphen and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying.
And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Jeez, Mom. Way to go, Mom.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, their sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Interesting. I don't know if I want to do that. Seems like a pain. bum, 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 bum. You want to know which lord I support? Why, are you out canvassing for someone? I'm with His Excellency. Wolsey Teldalis. You probably know him better as Lord Balsef. I know a lot of people consider him to be a giant brute. Believe me, I realize he can be an aggressive man. What those people don't realize is how much he looks after the members of his house. It's fair to say that House Teldalis doesn't enjoy much esteem. Those of us who serve it will be the first to admit that. But His Excellency always stands up against any who would mean us harm. Of that we can be sure. His efforts in the crown contest aren't only for his family, but to improve the standing of each and every member of his house. I owe so much to His Excellency, I could never dream of serving any other lord. Oops.
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective. So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
There's always two sides to a coin. Lord Dohalim, you have returned. Ah, and I see you've brought aids with you. Do you... I'm sorry, I'm 12 years old. Do you remember who I am, my lord? Surely you must, yes? Not only do I support House Ilkaris, but more specifically, his lordship personally. So much so, I've been trying to share my appreciation of his lordship to any who will listen. In fact, I was planning to publish my extensive writings on the subject through this very terminal for all to read and enjoy. But since the lines appear to be cut due to its recent tumult, I've been unable to upload them. I know! Since you're all here, I'll just read them aloud. Ahem. There exists a most handsome man, a man who radiates beauty, whose every word, every syllable is divine poetry. He hails from the famed House Ilkaris, and his name, Lord Dohalim. Music is his passion, the arts his great love. The scores of boorish, uncouth men of this land cannot begin to compare to his magnificence. So refined and majestic is his posture. Why, the mere thought of it brings me to ecstasy. Once he becomes our sovereign, Rena shall bloom anew, ushering in an era of prosperity for our grand civilization. Until that glorious day comes, I shall forever be praying for his victory, morning, noon, and night. Well, what did you think, my lord? I poured my whole heart into hoping to capture your essence. Wait! I forgot to mention anything about his lordship's love for collecting things. I must take this time while their lines are down to append it. Only then will my masterpiece be complete.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
Well, I never. To think anyone would try to tear me away from House Valkyris. What do you want? Don't tell me you work for Lord Dohalim or that dreadful Lord Almadria, do you? You don't? Well, don't scare me like that. To answer your question, I come from a family that has served House Valkyris for generations. Indeed, I'm doing all I can to support Lord Ganabelt behind the scenes so that he might emerge victorious. Many think him to be a cruel man, but I insist they're utterly mistaken. Though I won't deny he can be strict, he puts Rena's interests front and center like no one else. Why, he advocates that rather than stay confined to Lenegis, we should get on with colonizing Dana and expand our horizons. That way, we will become masters of both worlds and overturn our current minority status on Dana's surface. That is why he seeks to become our next sovereign. Tell me, is there a greater, more noble ambition than that? I think not. It is a pursuit of power for the advancement of all our kind. It is what makes him an exemplary lord, a model above all others. Though I was unable to accompany him myself, my 2 sons have been blessed with the honor of joining him on the surface. As their father, it fills me with endless pride.
Ganabelt was so
Whoa.
Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
Just your non-people. You're less than. It's as simple as that.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed.
Pardon me.
This area falls under the sole jurisdiction of House Canaris. I must ask you to depart at once. Surely you don't claim to be ignorant of our famed house, ruled over by the esteemed Lord Almadria. If so, I urge you to listen well. In fact, I bid you to listen carefully regardless. Have you ever noticed how in the history of Lenegis, only a few women lords have emerged to compete in the crown contest? Many have theories as to why this might be, but Lord Almadria quashed the doubts of any naysayers through sheer might. In fact, not only did she usurp her father and previous family master, she also removed her older brother to claim the seat for herself. She is a woman who stops at nothing to get what she wants, who gives her enemies nary the slightest opening to strike. Truly, Lord Almadria is a woman of talent. No one in all Rena better exemplifies the virtues of our nation's meritocracy. Soon, the age of a glorious woman sovereign reigning over Lenegis shall be upon us at last.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any level came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
Oopsies.
Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
What's happening? I don't get it. There wasn't a decree or anything to announce this like there always is. You're right. Even if this was an accident, it's strange that we still haven't heard anything from the Sovereign yet. Do my ears deceive me, or are you saying that you don't trust what the Sovereign is doing? I'll have you know that I was part of the delegation that came down with him to Dana during the previous crown contest. He was a brilliant man, and just as good with astral arts as well. I'm sure he's well aware of the situation, and thus has a plan to resolve it. Until then, we must simply wait and trust in his judgment. You fools. You fool! You saved my life. I would have been a goner had you not arrived when you did, milady. I understand we're in a crown contest, but I had no idea such capable astral... I understand we're in a crown contest, but I had no idea such a capable astral artist was in our midst. Forgive me for not realizing it sooner. Come on, you don't need to bow so deeply. All I did was strike that Zoogel's weak point. I didn't even get to go down to Dana for the crown contest, so I'm not sure how to feel about all this praise you're heaping on... Ooh. A burpee. Where's my house? I don't know how to get home. Well, sucks to be you, doesn't it? As a member of the upper caste, I order you to find a route out of here to the neighboring district. Please, no. You can't expect an old man such as me to do that. Not when there are Zoogers running loose in that part of town. That's exactly why I need you to do this. Surely you don't intend to defy me now, do you? The residential quarter is completely ruined. The roads are a mess and we can't get any power. The info terminals have gone dead too. We can't get into contact with any of our fellow Renans on the ground in Dana. I wonder if the Sovereign's aware of what's going on. Nope, he doesn't care. Ridiculous. How loathsome. Oh, I was just reading about Volran. Can I help you? I was always an ardent supporter of Lord Urwagil Hildress myself. Were it not for his sudden death down on the surface, I likely still would be. In my eyes, Lord Urwagil was the true Otter Lord. I don't believe for a second that he perished in some accident, like they say. As for Volran runs Gannetheros, don't get me started. I hear he enslaves not only Danans, but even his fellow Renans. We may live in a society where the victor go the spoils, but his actions go against what we as a people stand for. Besides, just what sort of family line is this House Ignissary of his, anyway? I'd never heard of it until he came along, which means they must be among the lowest dregs of society. That such an ignoble lineage could suddenly produce an astral artist capable of ascending to lordship is unheard of! None of it makes any sense. Not to mention all the upheaval around here of late. What is happening to our people?
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volran either.
I remember being quite surprised
hello?
changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary, remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
Okay, I guess I wasn't allowed to move.
Renan
Cool.
lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Thought my game froze.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders. carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Rena's
Half of my
society.
World Series pick is alive.
Strength and power determine
The
their
Braves
position
are
in
the
social
NLCS. The
hierarchy, where they tend to grow up
Braves.
fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings
need a
them
beverage.
together against outside forces. And nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes
I'm
them
gonna
the
get a beverage.
guardians of all of Renner, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsith hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
I have attained a beverage.
Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
A beverage.
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too.
Oh yeah.
Balsif and the others, they all had their
Delicious.
own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us.
Two sides of every coin.
What I'm trying to say is,
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
Money! Okay, now I can move. That worried me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Oh! Skills to pay the bills. No. 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 Ooh, maybe. No. Yep, we'll do this. The power of the Sovereign! It was centuries-old powers locked behind distant memories that deposed the second Sovereign and liberated the whole of Dana at last! Yes! Ooh, explosion. Hopefully it's not like the Pokemon move explosion. That'd be bad. Alright. Accessory Forged Mystic Crest. Uncover the ultimate ingredient! Yep. Whoa. Oh. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get those done before we finish up the game. Unless I need to. Then that's a different story! Morning Glory! Oh, there we go. Idealist. Cool. And Shaklacky. Alright. What do we got here, Max? Sweet. The unbeatable mage. Cool, we can get this one done. Bumbling fighter extraordinaire. Now we can get one away from there. Awesome. I was saving that to get the KO prevention for Law. Frack my knacks, dude. Man, that cello's going at it. Neato. That's a save. Boink. Cool. Let's see. Yep. Moving on. Give me that! Grape gel. Father, what's going on? I'm scared. I'm not sure, son, and never in all my years here on Lenegis has anything like this ever happened, not even once. There's always been a decree before anything takes place. Not only was there none this time, but the residential quarter has seen damage and injuries. Could that mean there's something bad happening then? It's possible. For now, all we can do is wait and hope for the best.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfricht Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
Hanfricht!
Hanfricht whatchamacallem. He's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
Strikes me as odd.
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move.
That's the third time they've said that. No use standing around. How could any of this happen? For years, Lenegis was a bastion of order and stability. Where did it all go so wrong? Your guess is as good as mine. I've never been here before. I'm just a tourist.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already.
Technically, he won.
Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit.
I don't like her.
Let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Yeah, I don't think that's the coward's way out.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Oh my god. That gave me a jump scare.
Dohalim. I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
I mean, he's not wrong, though. Like, in everything he just said, he's not wrong. Any items? I don't disagree with anything he said. He's right. Oh, there we go. Oranji Jutsu. I feel guilty about fleeing while there are kids out there fighting. There's no need to worry about them. They come from a higher-ranking family than ours. That makes their astral arts stronger than ours. They're simply fulfilling their duty to society as members of the ruling elite. I know, but it still doesn't sit right with me. Alrighty, Rooski. This is crazy. How long is this going to keep on? I don't know. Normally we would have had orders from the top brass informing all the separate classes what they need to do. I doubt that's happening. The whole chain of command in this city seems like it's broken down. Nobody knows what's happening. That doesn't mean someone somewhere isn't watching our every move. For now, we should see if there's anyone higher ranking around here. Maybe they'll have an idea about what we should be doing. Passing the buck. Not stepping up to the situation at hand. Tofu! The feeding pen is in bad shape. Who knows how many people have died? What happened to the Zeugles? Don't tell me they broke out. No, luckily we were able to seal them off before they got too far. Not that it does much good when they've escaped in other districts too. If I had to guess, I'd say there are a lot of Zeugles running loose throughout Lenegus. And there are a lot more of them than us too. What are we going to do? All our best soldiers are stationed down in Dana. Oopsie! I've killed most of those, so... Yeah. Oops. Cut scene!
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnigan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnigan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnigan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnigan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
What the hell?
I never appreciated
What
until
is
recently
Tarnigan doing there? Or
how
not
much you
Tarnigan,
were always there to
what's his
support
nuts?
me.
It goes both ways. You help.
If things don't calm down soon, don't you think we should board a starship so we can evacuate? We can't. You need to have the Sovereign's permission to enter a starship for anything other than the crown contest. Well, where's the Sovereign? Why isn't he here to lead us in our time of need?
To me, keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe. I still wanted to say
excuse me.
thank you.
If the rumors are to be believed, it's not just Zeugles who are out of control. Apparently, a group of armored soldiers have started to rebel too. For all we know, we may be seeing the start of some kind of uprising, don't you think so? That's absurd! Who could possibly plot such a conspiracy and think they could get away with it? True. If you rebel against the Sovereign, you're rebelling against the entire Renan civilization. It's hard to say one way or another. Nothing like this has ever happened in the history of Lenegus. We just know too little. Too little.
The medic
Too
and
little.
supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
I got more exploring to do, bruh. I want items. I feel like this is a battle type of situation that will happen on that platform. Or some such nonsense. No items? Really? Really? I dedicated the time to walk all the way over here. That is 30 seconds of my life I don't get back.
Check back in on the ranch.
What do we say? Shut up! Do my eyes deceive me, or has my shop been blessed with Lord Dohalim and his servants? Is there anything I can help you with, my lord? New items! A sword made with Lenegus technology. Cutting-edge Renan technology was used while developing it to feel good to hold in anybody's hand. Whoa! Yeah, I think so. Look at that thing. He's massive. Scoot him. A cat shield with a lovely pink coating. The only one that can get through its otherwise impregnable defenses is its lover, the feline bastion. Aww. Well, I need to sell some stuff. So I can craft some stuff. A story about a young girl and boy who go on a journey in search of light. The protagonist's saga ends with a dramatic, unbelievable conclusion. Okay, so I need money for that. I need money for that, at least. Oh wow, a perfect harvest. Cool. I don't really have anything worth anything to sell. I mean, I guess I can sell this stuff. That's probably a mistake. Man, it's a good thing there's not like a item limit or like a whatchamacallit, a weight carrying limit sort of thing. Because I would be well over that. Man, I was sitting on a treasure trove of money. Holy moly, look at all that money. Sick. Caduceus Rene. A rod made with Lenegis' technology. It's built to be as lightweight as physically possible without sacrificing any of its strength. Caestus Rene. Gauntlets made with Lenegis technology. Extensive testing and calculations during the research and development stage have yielded gauntlets that are light yet tough. Neat! A shield made with Lenegis' technology. Every aspect, including its appearance, have been carefully designed to optimize its defensive capabilities. A famous cannon that belonged to a man thought to be immortal. Most who try to fire it themselves are bound to be blown back by the recoil. I need Dark Mane. Craft accessory. Comeback ring. None of these look out of place like a...
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
What is her thing called here? Ultimate ingredient? No. Accessory forge. Mystic Crest. Yeah, I don't know. Wait. What do I need to craft for Kisara? No. No. Sashimi. Can I make that? Ooh, sashimi. There it is.
Thanks for waiting. Eat as much as you like.
Word. Thanks, Mom.
All right, it's done. Apologies for the wait, you guys.
That's a lot of fish you've cut up again, Kisara.
That's because I caught so many.
That's a lot of nuts.
If you're going to eat them, it's best to do it while they're still fresh.
Was it difficult slicing up that many fish?
No, I'm used to it. It's no big deal for me at this point.
I know I probably shouldn't be saying this after all the trouble you went through, but I've never really understood the appeal of sashimi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Law. I didn't realize. I only make it because it's an easy way to deal with big catches when I fish.
You haven't done anything wrong, Kisara. Law, if you don't like the flavor, you're always welcome to add some of my spices to it.
Hey, yeah, that might work. I'll just put some of this here.
What's wrong, Law? I've never seen someone jump up and sprint off that fast.
He ran as soon as he took a bite of that sashimi.
Was he crying because of the taste?
I don't think the sashimi is the problem here, guys.
Okay. Catch and fillet. Oh wow, got two of them. Chief Chef. Sick. No one has a greater command of the kitchen than Kisara, Master Chef, who always keeps her helpers busy and their hands full. As someone who loves to eat fish just as much as she does catching them, Kisara is all too happy to share the fun with others with a hearty meal. That's pretty neat. Oh, fast travel point. Neat. And we save. And we move on. Great.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be you ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh, I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menethia. I command you.
Threat to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one. I'm not done!
Its armor's too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest.
I'll smash you!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Roll back! Look sharp!
In a bind?
Get going! In an instant! Impact block!
Got him. Get him.
Consider yourself finished.
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, they're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
I suppose you are correct, sir. Well then. That's gonna be fun. That's sarcasm. It's not gonna be fun. That hurt.
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Get him. It's really weird playing this with one ear. No! Boo.
Consider yourself finished.
Oh, yeah.
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Oh, there's Darkmane. Hi. YOLO!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
That hit me? That's malarkey. Oh my word. Aww.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright...
Oh boy.
Out of our way!
Bring him down! You picked the wrong fight!
Not on my watch! Denied!
Here I come! I'm going in! Engaging! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Not a chance! Eat dirt!
On guard!
Oh wow. Dang.
I feel sprightlier than before.
Cleaned up there. Shortcake recipe. A spongy cake filled with cream and strawberries. Harsh punishment awaits anyone who dares to steal the strawberries sitting atop it. True that, man. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't have any of those things on me. Really? Again? Whatever.
Onward and upward.
You got that right there, man. Only word in airport.
Soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Yeah. I'm keeping Rinwell's limit break because I don't know, like, if these things cast anything that'll really kill me. thing was about to slice me to ribbons. Alphen's almost dead, so that's a thing. That's better.
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case.
Toads probs, bruh. Kyo! It's on the wolf or the... Okay. Well, that's not gonna kill it. Oops.
I can feel my power growing.
Ooh, regenerative crystal. Red sage. Regenerative crystal. And hexbreakers. Alright. Not a bad haul. I don't think I'll be able to keep my chain going, though. Made it.
Let's dispose of this troll.
Watch for the range attack. In a bind. Now you've gone and ticked me off.
Glacial spear, I never miss.
Cool, they're gathered up right there. I like that. Oh, good, it hit the right one. I was worried I hit the wolf.
Seems about right to me.
I'm getting all sorts of materials here.
Seriously? Is this a joke? I see what so much for talking it out. For my lord! Swallow blade! Coming through!
I mean, come on.
Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all. Get toasty.
Burn strike!
That's my cue.
Shut him down! You're mine!
Kitara, frozen.
Hammer! No
In the
chance!
sky, it's more denied.
Azure Storm! Slap the shot! Start up!
Lightning
Now or never! Fire in the hole! Fire's the blade! I'm not done! Tiger blade!
I'm actually gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna keep all of those over limits. Limit breaks, whatever you want to call them, for the next fight.
I feel sprightlier than before.
Wow, 21,600 in gold. I'll take it. Uh-oh, teleporter. I hope I don't have hands for feet and feet for hands.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
Oh, that was
But
fast.
it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
What? I mean, K.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
It's closing, isn't it?
What?
What the?
Memory time.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
I mean, she did get him home.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. the night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah, it was all just a little sudden, that's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
I almost hate to end it here. It's only 8:20. Alright, let's go. I don't want to end it there. Let it ride, baby.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
It's the same thing
Yeah,
that happened to
you're right.
Shion.
She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to hit those noodles like that before.
How that was a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword.
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zugans, then we get some answers.
Mega Ray!
Like a shot!
We got you!
I mean, it's going kind of well right now. Oh, it's cursed. Damn. Wowee.
Now it's just her! Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning.
Of course she is.
Casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Why didn't we just do that in the first place?
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay? Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
Well, gee, that was all neat and tidy now, wasn't it?
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnagan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Yeah!
Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Yeah, Scooby.
Huh?
Scoob!
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well.
Zoink, Scoob!
Grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not
Hoodle.
I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least.
I love that
very
bird.
is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find who.
I mean, that sounds like Volron, right? So it could be Volron and it could be the Red Woman, right? Essentially. Well, Volron feels like a... I don't know what to say about him.
Do you hear something again?
Yeah,
What is it, girl? Timmy stuck in the well?
it's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Oh, there we go again.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like alive.
Well, that was weird.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
Where's Chrono?
Visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway?
Poodle just looks
Seems
annoyed with
unlikely to
Law.
happen naturally.
That's funny.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
I'm not controlling this. He just walked up on his own.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns. As well as my own past, I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I just need a little time first. I want to make...
And on that cliffhanger, you know what that means. Yes, indeed. The stream is ending for the evening. I'll be back. Oh boy, if not tomorrow night, Thursday night for sure. Thursday night to wrap up this game. No matter how long it takes to get through it, I'll be wrapping it up. So, thank you for watching. And I will see you, if not tomorrow, then Thursday. Just keep an eye on my Twitter. Bye.